became the game, the main eventer, the WWE champion. Now, early 1999, he sheared away from his DX look. He rocked a shorter hairstyle, he wore tight set of trunks, and he became more of a heel than a babyface. Now, he did challenge for the WWE Championship on numerous occasions, but ultimately failed. But him and Mankind challenged then champion Stone Cold Steve Austin to a triple threat match at SummerSlam of 1999 with Jesse the Bite Ventura as the special guest referee. Now, in this match, they said that he was supposed slated to win originally, but Stone Cold didn't want to drop the belt to Triple H. Politics, you know how that go for the wrestling fans. But Mankind did win the championship in the triple threat. And what Triple H did after the match was over, he took a chair in Stone Cold and storyline injured him. In reality, Stone Cold just didn't want to drop the belt to him, and I guess it made Triple H look stronger by taking him out. The next night on Raw, Triple H felt like he still should get a shot at the championship. So he challenged Mankind to a one-on-one championship match. Mankind ultimately said no after Triple H threatened after he hurt JR, using him as bait to get a title shot. Once he did that, Shane McMahon came out and said, no, you're going to challenge him for the championship. So Shane McMahon was a special guest referee in that match for the main event on Raw, and they had their match, and ultimately Triple H became the WWE champion for the first time in his career, becoming a champion. So, with that being said, Triple H, now the champion, he was a main eventer, and it looked the championship. He made championship look good. So when he did do that, whatever, he did not have that championship for long. He lost the championship to Vince McMahon on a September 16th episode of SmackDown with the help of Stone Cold Steve Austin, who helped him win the championship. Now, Vince McMahon, however, did not hold on to the championship that long. He held it for 6 days. What he did was he vacated the championship, and it was a 6-pack challenge at the Unforgiven pay-per-view, which included, of course, Triple H himself, Bulldog, British Bulldog, The Big Show, Kane, The Rock, and Mankind. But Triple H did win the championship for a second time, and Stone Cold was also the special enforcer. So he won a championship for a second time, becoming a two-time WWE champion. And he was going to feud with Stone Cold over that championship at the No Mercy pay-per-view, which he did win by no contest. Well, I'm sorry, he won by interference by Rock by accident. So he still retained his championship. What was supposed to happen at the Survivor Series that year was supposed to be, to this day, supposed to be a legendary triple threat match of Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold. That was originally scheduled, but Stone Cold couldn't do that pay-per-view because of his injuries. He had to take time off. But Big Show took his spot in that Survivor Series pay-per-view, and he defeated Triple H and The Rock to win the WWE Championship with the help of Vince McMahon screwing Triple H over. But Triple H, once he's down, he doesn't get back up. He won the championship again on an episode of Raw when he defeated the Big Show. At this point, this is when he started calling himself The Game. And he had not just that nickname, also the Cerebral Assassin. They call him later on too. Now, his feud with Vince McMahon continued because, like I said, he screwed Triple H out of the championship. And when he had the feud with him, this is when his daughter Stephanie May got involved. So they had a match, I believe, before they had a match at the Armageddon pay-per-view, and Stephanie McMahon turned on her dad and she aligned herself with Triple H. And then after that, that's when they became the McMahon-Helmsley faction. And they were dominating Raw. They was taking all over the place. While in Stone Cold's absence, was taking time off. And Triple H was the champion, of course. But Mick Foley feuded with Triple H over the belt in a Hell in a Cell match at No Way Out. Now, stipulation was if Triple H defeated him, Mick Foley would be sent to retirement. And that was a very good match, by the way. Check that out when you can. He did defeat Mick Foley, and he had to go to retirement. At WrestleMania that year, Mick Foley did come back for one match. This is the WrestleMania where it was a McMahon in every corner. One of the worst main events, in my opinion, for a championship at WrestleMania. I digress. You had Triple H in one corner. Stephanie stood in his corner. The Rock had Vince McMahon in his corner. The Big Show had Shane in his corner. And in Mankind's corner had Leonard McMahon. And it was an elimination style match. And at the end of the day, it came down to Triple H and The Rock. And The Rock got screwed by Vince McMahon, and he aligned himself with Triple H and the rest of McMahon and the Helmsley faction. So for that, pretty much of that year, 2000, it was The Rock and Triple H. The Rock and Triple H for the most part, like I said, while Stone Cold was out on injury. They kept going back and forth, with the championship. The Rock won it at Backlash that year, but then 3 weeks later at the Iron Man match that they had a Judgment Day, Triple H won the championship back. And then again, The Rock won at the next pay-per-view, which was King of the Ring. Now afterwards, he had a feud with Chris Jericho. They had a last standing match at Fully Loaded, which ended that feud. Now at this point, this is when Stone Cold started to come back to WWE. He came back at Backlash to help Triple H lose that championship. He assisted The Rock. He played a very vital role in that. So it was revealed when he came back that when he was ran down, meaning he couldn't compete, Triple H had paid Rikishi to run down Stone Cold Steve Austin. And once Triple H revealed that Stone Cold and Triple H and Stone Cold knew that, they had a match at Survivor Series, but it ended in no contest. Triple H, during that match, tried to trick Stone Cold again by coming to a parking lot like he did previously the year before. But what Triple H didn't know was Stone Cold raised him up in the air with a forklift and he dropped the car. And Triple H was out for the next few weeks. But Triple H did come back a few weeks later and attack Stone Cold. Now this was a very good feud. It's the end of 2000 going to 2001. This feud ended in 2001 in the 3 Stages of Hell match at No Way Out pay-per-view. It was a very good match. Triple H won that feud when they both hit each other in the third match. Triple H laid over Stone Cold after he hit each other with both weapons. It was 1, 2, 3, Triple H won. So after that feud was done, he entered a feud with The Undertaker. When Triple H claimed he beat everybody, he beat your top heroes like The Rock and Stone Cold, he never faced The Undertaker. So they had a match at WrestleMania 17. He lost that match to The Undertaker, which continued the Undertaker streak at the time at 9-0 at that point. And Stone Cold had the big match with The Rock at WrestleMania 17 for the WWE Championship, which he did win when he turned heel and he had help from Vince McMahon himself. But after that match at WrestleMania that Stone Cold had with The Rock, He faced The Rock again in a rematch in a steel cage match. In the steel cage match, Triple H came out, and it looked like he was coming out to save The Rock, saying, "What's going on? How are you aligned with Stone Cold Steve Austin talking to Vince?" Turns out he was with Stone Cold. They aligned themselves together, and they called themselves the two-man power trip. And they end up winning the Tag Team Championship and the Intercontinental Championship at that Backlash pay-per-view. So they had all the gold. It was Triple H, Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion. Stone Cold, Tag Team Champion, and the WWE Champion. But see, the two-man power trip, as much as I like that faction, how dominant it was, it didn't last for long. At the May 21st episode of Raw, they had a tag team match with the championships on the line against Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. Now, when Stone Cold was in the walls of Jericho, Triple H came to break that up. Now, he was successful in breaking it up, but also he tore his quad on the way coming down. Now, Triple H continued the match. He told Chris Jericho, put him in wall Jericho at one point in the match so, could finish strong. But he was out for the next 8 months. However, he did come back in January. He made one of the hugest pops in history in the January 7, 2002 edition of Raw. They announced that he was back and he was going to make his spot at the Royal Rumble. And he came back as a babyface. When he did that, everything started from a reset. Now, he still was involved with the Stephanie McMahon storyline, but that was going downhill. They ended up ultimately getting the divorce storyline-wise. He was on his own. Stone Cold wasn't champion no more. He was also a babyface at that time as well. He was no longer a heel. So Triple H, he did end up winning that Royal Rumble that year, and he went on to the main event for the championship at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho, who was the undisputed champion at that time. So they faced off, and Triple H won that match, and he was the undisputed champion. But he wasn't champion long. He was only champion for maybe no more than a month. I'll say 20, 29 days. He lost the belt to Hulk Hogan at Backlash. So he still continued to feud with Chris Jericho. They had a match also at Judgment Day in the Hell in a Cell match. Now at this point, Shawn Michaels made his return to WWE. He was in New World Order. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall got back from the WCW when it was purchased by Vince McMahon and WWE, obviously. Now, at first, Triple H wanted Shawn Michaels to be his manager, and that didn't happen. Now, at this point, Triple H, he was slowly not going to be the babyface anymore. He was turning back to the heel. We thought as fans that they was going to have DX back together. But it turned out he turned on Shawn Michaels, and they had a feud. Because he said he got tired of being Shawn Michaels' shadow. He only used Shawn Michaels to get to the top. Like he said, Shawn Michaels used him to stay on top. That was a nice promo he cut. He said Shawn Michaels was weak, and he was trying to say that he needed Shawn Michaels to be. Shawn Michaels needed him more than he needed Shawn Michaels. That was the whole thing. They had a feud at SummerSlam, which was in a street fight, unsanctioned street fight. And Shawn Michaels defeated Triple H to win the match. Now, after the match, even though Shawn Michaels won, Triple H took a sledgehammer and he knocked him out. So this feud was going on for quite some time. And there's more to that feud I will explain later in other videos. But this is pretty much how Triple H became the main eventer. He was the game and also Cerebral Assassin. I will explain more in that another video of how Triple H continued to feud with Shawn Michaels and how he also started Evolution. But until then, guys, it's OU.